Have you ever wondered what it would be like to take your dog and run them on a double lift finals course? Well, join me today. I'm going to take you through Bryn's run at the Western Canadian Championship and just kind of explain a little bit about the type of course and the type of tactics that you kind of need to get through this type of course. They're challenging and they're actually one of the coolest things that I've honestly ever done with my dogs. They're just really great to be able to have the opportunity to do them. So let's get started today. So the objective for this type of trial is really the same in some ways to many other field trials in that we're trying to demonstrate practical type work that would happen with these dogs. So as I head out to the post here, I will explain a little bit about this course. Now, I like to walk out at a bit of an angle because my sheep are actually up top here that you can see. So they're being held, they're about 600 yards away. I did do a little editing on the video just for the time's sake. So Bryn's headed out on her outrun, and I'm just kind of watching her as we go. It's a wonderful, cool, rainy day, which is perfect for these double lifts, not too hot. Bryn now is going to be 9 in a few months. So she's getting a little bit of age on her now, but she is keeping in really good shape. So she's still able to do these competitions. To qualify for the double lift, she had to be one of 10 dogs in the preliminary rounds. And I was actually fortunate on this one to get 3 dogs in the double lift, which is pretty cool to be able to do. So the set out person is holding the sheep out there. It looks like their dog's right up top. The sheep are just grazing. Bryn kind of goes down a dip here and then around the top. She's now onto her lift. So the scoring for the first outrun is 20 points, and then the lift is 10. We're now on the fetch. And the fetch for these big courses like that is something we call a dog leg fetch. So that means that they're not coming straight to you, but rather they're bent. So the sheep in this case need to come all the way down the hill, and in a moment we'll be able to see the fetch panels. The sheep are not easy to move. There is 10 sheep out there, and there 5 of them will be marked. Here we are just a little farther down the fetch line. So this is the first packet of sheep. We are offline a bit on this fetch, so we'll be losing points here. Now right here, the sheep had a hard draw to the left here. So I'm trying to get her around to flank them, keep the back ones moving, which we're grazing, and try to get the front runners slowed down. And remember, it's a bit deceiving in the video because we actually she is probably out a good 450 yards or so here. So I'm trying, it is a big distance. So here we come. So as I mentioned, the fetch line here, we are offline, and she lost, I think, 15 out of the 20 points, which is fair enough. They certainly weren't online. They were a little tough to hold and a little tough to get them moving, but I'm trying to flank her around. To the right here is one of the fetch panels. So you can see that I definitely am on offline. So I'm just trying to get her to come around. If you look way out back, those are my second packet of sheep. So here's what we call the turn back post. It's just set in front, little ways in front of the fetch panels. I need to drop off my first packet of sheep at those fetch panels, and then I'll give Bryn a turn back in a minute here. So I'm trying to get her around these to keep these sheep online. Right here, I give the turn back. So at this point, Bryn will not be able to see these sheep. It looks like you kind of can, but she's running back kind of blind. There's quite a dip there. She's coming in a little bit on her outrun, so she'll be losing some points here because I need to command her. So I'm trying to stop her from crossing over. And now she sees him and kicks out. So she knows she's supposed to, she just knows where she's supposed to go, but hasn't seen the sheep. So now we're on to our lift. So she would have definitely lost points on her second outrun. In fact, she lost 14 of the 20 points. So not quite a crossover, but she lost quite a bit. She did have a decent lift the second time out. She only lost 2 out of the 10 points on the lift. Now we need to bring them back online again. So that line is again a dog leg fetch. Once again, the sheep are pulling hard to my left. So we do get them corrected here somewhat. And this is a bit deceiving just the way that camera angle is. This is actually not the fetch panel. This is one of the drive panels. So I still need to bring them. Here we go. Now you can see a little more. I need to bring them all the way across and over to those fetch panels and meet up with my second group. So I'm trying really hard here to get them back online as much as possible. If you miss an obstacle, you can't go and retry an obstacle. So if you've missed it and gone by it, so you need to hit it the first time. Otherwise, you're losing, depending on the angle you hit it, but you're losing kind of a half a point to a point each sheep. Once again, depending kind of a bit on the scenario. So I'm fighting to get my fetch points here on the second one. And my second fetch went much better than my first. I only lost 3 out of the 20 points, which was good. So I'm needing to bring these right through, and then we're going to meet up with that second group. So I need to keep this packet of sheep, the second ones, separate until we get closer into that first group. So this is a nice fetch. It's pretty dead on. She's listening really well, and she's trying to keep them apart from the second. Now they start to really pull. So ideally you want this second group to be up kind of parallel to the second, or to the first group. Mine ran a little bit, so now I'm going to put them back online because they need to come straight from those fetch panels down to me as the handler to turn around the post so we can begin our drive. So now we have 20 sheep in total. 5 of them are marked, which we will do the international shed a little bit later here and separate those 5. So Bryn's working nice and smooth here, nice and quiet. It's great. The dogs can take a water break if needed. It's really cool today, so she was just fine. She didn't need any breaks at all. So we're just trying to get a nice tight turn around the post, which it's not too bad here, and keep them online for the start of our drive-away panel. So in the international shed or international run, the drive is worth 40 points. So the whole scoring system adds up to 170 points in the double lift. So just once again, we're keeping them online here. Trying to get straight lines is really, really important in the drive. You can hear my whistles faintly. I know they're a little bit hard to hear on the audio. But I really thank Alicia for filming these runs. It was wonderful to be able to get them and look back at them now. So that's Bryn's away flank, if you can hear that. And now we get them pretty nice and straight, and we want a tight turn on this panel to do our cross drive now. So the cross drive will be running parallel across in front of me. And I believe the drives with this were 150 yards for each leg. So we just did 150, 150 for the cross drive, and then another 150 back to the shedding ring. The time for this entire course is 30 minutes. So I have edited a little bit of the video just to save a little bit of time for you watching. But the 30-minute course is really needed in many cases. And you'll see why in a little bit as we try to work on our international shed. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy every single time I get to try a double lift because we don't get an opportunity to do them very often. And when you do, there's so much to learn in it. I'm still learning every single time I go out on the field with them. They're a little more complicated than a regular course, and there's a lot happening. So just learning all the different pieces does take a bit of time. I always think that if you make a finals after the preliminaries and get to run in a double lift, it's like the bonus round. It's truly so fun to do. So we hit this panel, not too bad. That's our cross drive panel. And I need a nice line back from the turn of this cross drive straight back into the shedding ring. And the shedding ring here there's little piles of sawdust. They're a little bit hard to see here. And it's 40 meters in diameter, 40 yards in diameter. So I want a straight line from the edge of that panel back into the shedding ring. I can head to the shedding ring. I can walk into it once the first few sheep get into the ring. We are actually standing on the edge of it at this particular post, so you're kind of right there anyway. Okay, so now for the shedding. Now the shedding is something I have struggled with for a while because it's a little different than the regular sheds that you do often, say at home or at a regular trial. But saying that, really it's a type of sort, which you do at home, but not under pressure. So that's where it's a little bit different. So it's hard to see here, but there are 5 sheep that have big orange marks across their back. I need to basically get rid of all the other 15 sheep, so sort them off, and keep the 5. So that's ultimately what the goal is here. And what I've done is just for your viewing here, because there is about 12 minutes or so of shedding that I'll be working on, but I speed it up a little bit here so it's a little bit quicker for you to watch because it is kind of fun to watch. Still, you can learn a lot. So what I'm trying to do here is sort out those sheep that don't have marks on them and let them drift off. So if you see Bryn now she's going a little quick, that's because I sped up the film a bit for you. So she's not usually moving quite that swift here. So we want the dogs to be nice and quiet. And basically what we're trying to do is act like a gate with me on one side, the dog on the other, and then let those discard sheep, we call them, head off. So that's what I'm just trying to get my first group off here. And I need to do all this in that shedding ring. I can't shed outside of it. Okay, so we lost that first little group, like it didn't quite work for us. They came back. So now we'll set it up and try it again. So you don't want to kind of just jump in and start calling your dog through lots. You actually need to demonstrate that you can sort the sheep. Once again, setting up that kind of gate effect so that the discard sheep can head off. And I believe you're not supposed to technically maneuver the marked sheep so that you can get them off in one cut, you do need to demonstrate that you can actually let your discard sort off. So what we're really trying to test here for the shed is a dog's ability to separate, work quietly. So it's very sensible farm work. Like I said, I've struggled with it a bit because it's under pressure. So for practicing now, what I've done is try to set this up and put myself under a lot more pressure, whether it be the space itself as an added pressure, or whether it be the time factor, or whether it be really specific sheep, not just kind of random sheep that get to move off. So it is kind of a great opportunity to be allowed. You can see how my sheep are nicely moving off now. Those are the sheep that I want to discard. Now I'm trying to hold the one that's marked from breaking off. So if it does break off, I'm going to have to either save that break, that marked sheep, or regroup all of them and start again, which certainly can happen doing this. So you're trying to get a little space to cause a pull or a draw, which I've got going nicely here. So my discard sheep aren't too far away. Once again, this is sped up a little bit on video just so you don't have to watch this long. And I've got a nice group, a discard group that's not too far away, and that's causing the draw for my unmarked sheep. So my main group is still here. So I'm just trying to use my own body language, my own movement here a bit to turn heads and to try to get the unmarked sheep to kind of move towards that far side. Ideally, I don't want to flip around myself too much or flip the dog around too much. I kind of want to hold, once I start on one side, it certainly looks better to stay on that side and keep your sort going. So that's what I'm trying for here. The shed itself is worth 20 points. I honestly think it should be worth at least double that because it's so much work. And it does take some time. There are some people out there that are just superb at doing these sheds, and it's really fun to watch them. So I feel like my ability on the sheds is getting better. It's starting to improve. I just checked my watch there. I've got quite a bit of time. I think I had probably about, I'd say 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes at least left. So again, just trying to peel off those groups. Bryn's working nice and quietly here. So it's important the dog doesn't overflank or panic. They need to have nice clean flanks, hold when you want them to hold, and let some sheep go when you want those sheep to go. So in this particular trial, I was actually really excited to only lose 1 point on my shed. And I was awarded the Best International Shed Award, which actually really, really means a lot to me because I have been working hard on this. So it was kind of cool to be able to do. Later this day, I also get to practice it again with my 5-year-old dog, Sam, who ends up placing 3rd in the finals. So I'm slowly getting down to my 5 marked sheep here. Bryn's nice and settled. It's great because it's nice. It's cool. She's not too warm. So you can see with the double lift courses in general, this course alone was 600 yards the first outrun, 700 yards the second. So these dogs really need to be conditioned. And it is a bonus when it's cool out because that certainly helps them. But I do condition my dogs for heat tolerance as well. We've almost got down to the 5 left here. So you can see where this type of course is just such a different game to play, and it's so much fun to do. I think I've said that a few times this video, but I just have sheer joy every time I get to try these courses. So there is my group just starting to come off here.
Nice.
You can see that one ewe almost got away on us. So now I'm just trying to take my time, keep these together, keep them managed, and I head to my pen. So I lost 1 point out of 20 on the shed. I want a nice line going with this group of sheep, the 5 sheep, into the pen here. And I have to say, I was so excited about getting a nice shed because I could feel it went well that I was shaking at the pen this time. Normally I'm pretty calm. This time I was really excited. So Bryn covers really nice here, and we want to just take our time. I believe I had a couple minutes here to pen, which should be enough time. So I just want to settle my sheep a little bit, relax them. And Bryn's covering nice. You don't want them to run around the pen at all. Keep it nice and smooth. The pen is worth 10. So once again, the total course is worth 170. Unfortunately, there was a little glitch. I looked a couple times on the video, but we did get our pen. I was just opening the gate here and praising Bryn, but it was pretty exciting to do. So in this particular course, I'm so glad that I could share this with you today, but Bryn actually ends up winning the double lift and with a score of 123 out of 170. And it's the first time that we've won the Western Canadian Championship. So it was really cool to do. So I hope this breakdown today really kind of gave you an insight into kind of that natural ability that I always talk about with the dogs and their biddability that you need, the experience, the miles that both of us need really to be able to run these types of courses. And I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Make sure that you subscribe and we will be heading into more analysis from sheepdog trials, as well, of course, as lots of training. So thanks for watching today.